It's a Saturday showdown. Anyone fancy some hot laps around Interlagos? It's qualifying day here for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix.
Hello everybody, it's Joe here, and welcome back to my F1 24 career mode. We're at Sao Paulo for the Brazilian Grand Prix. If you haven't seen the last instalment, do be sure to check that one out before you see this one. And if you have missed a few, you can catch up on the playlist on my channel, F1 24 career mode. Well, the heavens have well and truly opened here at Sao Paulo. So, it's very, very wet, it's very slippery, and I'm nearly losing it just on little left kinks there. That is how wet and slippery the surface is. But as we go for the line, what is the time in SQ1? It is enough for P14 in the end. The track conditions did slightly improve, but it was nothing for us to be worried about. However, we did lose Behrman, Leclerc, Russell, Gasly and Magnussen. So there's some pretty big names going out there. Two of them being Russell and Leclerc. And as we head into Q2, the track is drying quite significantly. How dry is it going to be for us though? And most importantly, are we going to be able to set a time that will get us through Q2? At the moment, it's looking like we're going to do so. Hamilton though is in real danger of getting dropped out. And Pourchaire is falling down the field. Hamilton improves, but Norris is 14th. Does Lando Norris improve, or is he out? Where did we go? We topped the timesheets, but the curious question of the day is, where is Lando Norris? And the answer to that, I think, is P15. So that is Lando Norris out at Q2. Some big names going out of this sprint quali. And there's quite a few of us that are going to be fighting our way forwards. And in SQ3, the lap time just wasn't there. Mistakes were made earlier in the lap that we having to make up for. But in the end, the lap time just isn't there. And as we go for the line, it's going to be, I think it's going to be P10. I don't think we're going to be able to do anything more than that. So we've got it all to do in this sprint race from P10. It's not the qualifying we were hoping for.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint, not very... Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Fernando Alonso completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Stroll, Perez, Sainz, Albon, Sunshine, Joe, Ocon, Théo Pourchaire, Hülkenberg, Norris, Behrman, Leclerc, Russell, Gasly, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and
12 laps of this sprint race about to get underway here on the grid. What lies ahead of us? We are underway here at Sao Paulo. It's not too bad a start for us. Sainz didn't get away particularly well. There may be an opportunity around the outside there, but we decided to stick to the inside because there was no way across. And Zhou Guanyu was fighting his way through, so we're down to P11. But I might be able to take that back down this little straight here, going side by side with the Alpine driver. It's a case of who breaks last. I break last, and well, no, Joe actually broke last there, and Joe holds on to the position, so we are down a place at that start. That's really not the start to this race we want at all. And I'm now going to try and catch back up with Zhou Guanyu. Maybe have a look down the inside here as it all backs up, giving him the space on the inside, but I think we might have just made it through here. And we have made it through here, up into P10. And in fact, yeah, there we go. Past Zhou Guanyu and into the top 10. And now we can set our sights on Alex Albon ahead as we head up Yunsao to complete the first lap. Sainz, Albon and myself, 8th, 9th and 10th. Zhou and Pourchaire, 11th and 12th. So Pourchaire, he'll be hoping for an outside chance of a points. Max Verstappen is leading the way here. And we're getting ready to send one down the inside of Alex Albon into the centre S. Have we completed that? That is a mighty overtake. Moving ourselves up into P9 then. Meanwhile, that chance of points that Pourchaire has gone down quite significantly. Owing to that mistake, he goes completely off the circuit and now rejoins at the back of the pack. That's unfortunate for him. He was having quite a strong sprint. Meanwhile, here we are going after Carlos Sainz, using the overtake, using DRS. And again, it's going to be a late send down the inside of the centre S. And I think we nearly outbraked ourselves there, but we've managed to get ahead of Sainz. Next up is Stroll and Perez in 6th and 7th. So they're our next targets. But Carlos Sainz is coming back at me down the inside for the left-hander. And I think Sainz has got that back. So Carlos Sainz fighting me here. And the problem now is that we're losing time fighting Sainz instead of gaining it going after Perez, so that's costing us here, as once again I go after Sainz. It's going to be a move down the inside of the centre S. Sainz covers, so we now have to go to the outside, but this time I have gone round. However, we got another DRS spot here. I don't know where we collided with Sainz, but this time we're able to keep the gap. But the problem is now Sainz is coming back at us into the centre S, and Sainz is ahead of us, despite how late. Oh my goodness me, we're not keeping the place here at all. Sainz gets it done, but now I've got the DRS zone down this straight. Perez and Stroll are now gone, so any chance of racing them, it's going to be a tall order now, with them being 4 seconds ahead of us, with only 6 laps left in the sprint, and we've got back past Carlos Sainz, and now Sainz is going to come back at us again in the centre S next time round on lap 12. Sainz coming back at us to try and take that final point. And who's that? That's Zhou that's getting involved in the mix now. I thought that was Sainz, but Zhou Guanyu has decided he wants a spot in this mix. He's going for it too, and Carlos Sainz down the inside. It's a sandwich here. Zhou gets forced wide. Sainz on the left, we're on the right, and Sainz getting P8 back once again on the final lap of this sprint race. And now we're really trying to get desperate as we go down the inside, making it work. Sainz fighting us on the outside. I'm running him wide just a little bit, but Sainz keeping on up the fight still as we head into the last sector. And putting my wheel on the grass there is not going to help things as we now head round the left-hander up towards Yunsao for the final time. Max Verstappen wins this sprint race before we even complete sector 2. As we now head up the hill, what's it going to be? Sainz is coming back at us. Sainz is coming back at us. He's going to come on the left. I go to the feminist too late. I'm clipped Sainz and into the wall.
Okay?
And we don't even make the end of the sprint race by about 10 yards. I was moving over to cover Sainz, but the momentum he had, he'd already got the move done. My car bounced off him and straight into the wall. And that is a horrendous crash. That was my bad. I completely misjudged how fast the momentum Carlos Sainz would have. I was moving over to cover, but he was already through. And yeah, that's us out of the sprint race. No points from that. I tell you what, IRL, the mechanics would have a tough time repairing that, but it's Max Verstappen who is your race winner for the sprint here in Sao Paulo. Fernando Alonso is second, Lewis Hamilton is third, Tsunoda is fourth, Piastri is fifth, Stroll is sixth, and then it's Perez and Sainz completing the top 8. And Zhou Guanyu, he really wanted to go for a point here, didn't he? Oh, that's a frustrating way to end, and to be fair, I'm frustrated that I spent most of my race fighting Sainz. I wish I'd have been able to catch up with Perez and Stroll and maybe gain a few places, but whatever. It's now time to qualify for the Brazilian Grand Prix itself. Apologies that we didn't have the intro screen for it. That's a bad cut on my part through editing. But now we're heading up towards Yunsao, and the time is quite strong in Q1. And quite predictably, it looks like we are going to nail it and get through here. Up the hill we go. The weather forecast for the race, by the way, is wet, wet, wet. Potentially drying out towards the end, so a lot of that wet stuff about. P11 is where we end up in Q1. That's simply not good enough. We need to find more pace. Ended up being P12, Leclerc in P5. And at this stage of the championship, we do not want to be losing this many points. Ocon is out, as is Tsunoda, Sainz, Perez, someone else. But it's a shock to see both VCARBs struggling here, because they look so strong at every other part of the weekend. Right, into Q2. Look at both Williams up there as well. They're quite the improved package of the season as we head towards the closing stages. And look at Behrman just flirting with the top 10 there. Very close. If he finds a 10th or two, he'll get his car there. Meanwhile, we're looking very nice to get into the top 10 here as we now climb up the hill of Yunsao. Up the hill towards the start-finish area. Little left kink there. Where are we going to be? It is P1. So we topped the timesheets and have somehow found that little bit of pace that we need. That is good going. Gasly, Behrman, Hulkenberg, Albon and Pourchaire all out at Q2. So now we come to the final part of qualifying for this Brazilian Grand Prix. Into Q3. How will we go? Center S, let's turn in. Clipping that apex nicely. Are we going to hit the second one? Yes, we do. We kind of missed the outside part though. Round the sweeper of turn 3, down the straight, and it's looking quite nice. Leclerc sets the bar of a 106.5. We're just a little bit shy of Piastri in 6th, so we've got to really find some speed up this hill, and it's very hard to do. Now we come into the left kink. Norris currently down to 6th. Where is it going to be for us? It's P4. P4, so that's not too shabby at all. I'm actually quite happy with that. I will take that for now, especially with the rain coming in the race, so hopefully we can make our way forward a little bit and get ourselves onto the podium. But yeah, P4, not too shabby a job, but it's Charles Leclerc who makes pole, with Fernando Alonso 2nd, Max Verstappen 3rd, and we are sitting in 4th. Then it's Russell, Stroll, Norris, Piastri, Hamilton and Magnussen, once again putting his hat in a very strong position.
Welcome along then to where heroes and history are made. It's where the 2008 title was decided in the very final corner. And just 1 year later, Jenson Button stormed through from 14th on the grid to claim his one and only Drivers' Championship. It's time then for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, and it's Fernando Alonso alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Sunshine, Russell, Stroll, Norris, Hamilton, Magnussen, Gasly, Behrman, Hulkenberg, Théo Pourchaire, Tsunoda, Sainz, Oscar Piastri, Joe, Albon, Ocon, and Sergio Perez completes our grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And alongside me in the commentary box today, a man who I always look up.
Like with sprint qualifying, the heavens have opened. It's a very wet start to this Brazilian Grand Prix, and we are underway here at Sao Paulo. It's an okay start for us. Verstappen, he didn't seem to be away too strongly, but he's come across to cover us. I think he was intending a look on Alonso, but Alonso covered that off. We've got Russell attacking, but Russell not able to make it through. So we've held position for now. It's Leclerc, Alonso, Verstappen, myself, Russell and Stroll completing your top 6 at this stage. Stroll having a hell of a start there. Right, down the hill we go. trying to stay with the front three, but it's proving quite difficult as I'm not feeling quite confident with where the grip is. I'm trying to figure it all out. Heading up the hill towards the right-hander. They do back up, and I was thinking about a look on Verstappen, but we are way, way too far back. Lap 3, and I have lost about a second and a half or so to the top 3 ahead. I've got George Russell lurking in the background behind me, and Lance Stroll even closer behind Russell. So Stroll's really going for it in this early stage. I'm trying to find a way to get myself closer to the front few cars. It's still very damp, it's still very slippery, and I'm trying to find my way to gaining on the top 3. We have actually gained a little bit this lap because we've got the gap under a second, which promptly goes up as we get a little bit of wheel spin out of Yunsao. But as I use the overtake button, that is drawing us closer. So it's now 1.2. And as the laps go on, we do find ourselves gaining on the top 3. Purple first sector. Here we go, down the inside of Max Verstappen. Are we going to make that work? Not quite, but we're fighting our way around the outside. That's the go-kart line. That often works in the wet. Not working here, but we're going... Well, we were going to have a look down the inside of Verstappen there, but I thought better of it. And now we're heading up the hill towards the end of lap 6. Are we going to be able to pass Verstappen into the centre F? That's a brave move to go for it there, but you know what? I'm feeling brave and I'm going for it. And we somehow get the car stopped, but we don't get the car passed. Verstappen up and undering, saying thank you very much. I knew you weren't going to particularly make the corner. I will just have that back off you. Cheers. Or whatever the Dutch equivalent of that is. Anyway, following the rear of the Red Bull closely now, Charles Leclerc leading the way ahead of Fernando Alonso, and I think Leclerc has checked out a little bit here as we go back down the inside of Max Verstappen. Are we getting through here? Verstappen trying to hold on once again, but I think we're a little bit more alongside than we were last time, so I'm going to try and hold the inside line. Verstappen's still trying to hold it out around the outside. We're still side by side here, but I think Verstappen has still got us covered. That is some great covering driving by Max Verstappen as we now prepare to head up the hill once again. And I'm going to try and get in a bit of slipstream, but Verstappen getting a better run. We just got a bit more wheel spin, and then we're not going to be close enough to try the inside of the centre S once again, or are we? Or are we? I'm going to try it anyway, braking a bit later than Verstappen. Max does give the room, but we haven't got it done outside of the centre S for the second part. We have got that done. Good overtake there, moving up into P3. Next up is Alonso, who is 2.7 ahead. And on lap 8, we have got that overtake done and are starting to move our way forwards towards the front of the field. The conditions still very damp and very slippy, but our pace right now is pretty much faster than anybody as the track is starting to dry out just a little bit. We're finding more grip and more speed, and I'm going a bit quicker than some of my counterparts around me. We're now catching Fernando Alonso for P2. The gap is under a second, and I just wonder now, when are we going to be able to attack the Aston Martin dead ahead? It's lap 11 of 36. We're just about a third of the way through this Brazilian Grand Prix, and I am shaping up an attack on Alonso. Lap 13. Oh, Alonso was so slow out of there, and you know what that means? Dive down the inside here. Not quite on. We make contact with the back wheel of Alonso. I'm trying to go around the outside. Don't quite have the grip to pull that off, and Alonso holds onto the position despite us slightly muscling him out of the way. Alonso, being the wily old fox he is, isn't going to fall prey to that one, but we might be able to get him into the centre S. That's some late braking there. We are going to go a little bit deep, and as a result not get the best exit. The sky is brightening up, the track is drying up, and we're now going back after Fernando Alonso. Leclerc sets the fastest lap of the race, but we're going to have a dive down the inside as Verstappen sets the fastest lap of the race. We're going straight across the chicane, having not made the corner at all, and on lap 15 we're going back after Alonso, and this time, surely we've got the overtake done. Alonso trying to hang it out in the inside and defend, but we have got the move done. We're up into P2, and now the only driver ahead of us is Charles Leclerc, and the circuit is getting drier and drier, and the sky is getting brighter and brighter. So I've decided this is the time to take a gamble on going on some medium tyres, which will take to the end of the Grand Prix. And once again, this just keeps happening, doesn't it? We have had an issue changing the tyre, but not to matter because we're now coming out on circuit. I feel like personally we've called this a little bit prematurely, and that maybe we should have stayed out 1 or 2 more laps. But sometimes you got to gamble, and that is exactly what we're doing. And we're out in P14, but the track feels fine. In fact, we're setting fastest laps, so everybody now having to pit. But the problem is the first lap, we didn't really gain the lap time that we needed, and that might allow Alonso back in front, but it doesn't. We are now in front of Fernando Alonso despite his attempts to get through. Leclerc is on the hard tyres, so he should be quite easy to catch. Meanwhile, that's a Williams going wide. I think that's Alex Albon struggling with the drying conditions here. He's still on intermediate, so I'm not quite sure why he's still on that tyre. But now we're starting to really gain on our teammate Charles Leclerc. The gap is 4.1 seconds. Can we catch him by the end of this Brazilian Grand Prix and get a win? At the moment, it's looking like a Ferrari 1-2. Alonso is staying worryingly close though, so I don't know if he's going to have anything to say about it. Leclerc sets the fastest lap at 1:11.5. We have matched that, but Alonso has gone quicker. So Fernando Alonso is the driver on a charge here. And at the beginning of lap 22, Alonso's going to have a go down the inside of the Center S. Alonso alongside, but does he get through? No, he doesn't. We stay on the outside and hold on to P2. So it looks like we're fighting Alonso, and that's going to help Leclerc get away. So Charles Leclerc looking set to win this race here, but I'm thinking second place would do nicely. Even if I'm fighting off Fernando Alonso for the rest of the race, I feel like I can do it. I feel like I can keep him back. As Charles Leclerc sets another fastest lap, he is positively flying out there. And Alonso going down the inside once again, but I forced him in so tight. But I've gone very wide myself. Alonso still side by side. No way through there. And we hold on to the position. But Alonso could very well come back at me here. Down the Retroposta. Is he going to have a look? Yes, he is. He's down the inside. Alonso on the inside. We're on the outside. Side by side with the Aston Martin. And Alonso's got the place. I'm having a look to the inside there. No way through. Verstappen, if anything. Alonso, if anything, sorry. Cutting me off. No way through. Oh, that was a little bit of a cheeky look, wasn't it? But look how close we're staying with Fernando Alonso. I'm not giving up yet. I want this position back, and I feel like we can get it back. Leclerc sets another fastest lap of the race. He's just showing off now. But we're coming back at Fernando Alonso. We're going to go down the inside of the Center S. Russell sets the fastest lap, and we've got past Fernando Alonso once again. And he's lost a little bit of time there, so he's going to struggle just keeping up with us, but it gives me a little bit of breathing space. Right, here comes Alonso once again down the inside. I'm going to cover the outside. Verstappen is also there, and Alonso's gone into me, and I've got severe damage on my bodywork. This is what happened. I was on the outside. I gave Alonso room. I was not aware that Verstappen was also there, giving Alonso a nudge. As a result, damage is done, and the safety car is out. I was not aware that Alonso was drawing along, that Verstappen, sorry, was having a lunge down the inside as well. That kind of forced Alonso into us. Oh dear, right, the safety car was out, but it's now come in, and we're now having a go at Charles Leclerc for the race lead. Down the inside of the Center S we go. Leclerc on the right, I'm on the left, side by side, but we've got a red flag. That is disappointing, because that looked like it was going to be a very juicy battle all the way to the end of Sector 1. But the red flag, calling time to that. And now we take on a set of soft tyres to go the final 7 laps of this Brazilian Grand Prix. And we are underway in Sao Paulo, but Leclerc's completely bogged down. The driver who led this entire first half of the Grand Prix, bogging down, going wide and losing a lot of places. Leclerc down to 6 as Hulkenberg is fighting his way in 4th, but look who snuck up to 3rd. It's Pierre Gasly. Meanwhile, Hulkenberg is fighting with George Russell, and Leclerc's trying to take them both. Leclerc forcing his way past both Hulkenberg and Russell, having none of that particular battle. And now we've got Verstappen all over the back of me, and Gasly in 3rd, waiting in the wings as we head round the left-hander. And we've got a safety car out.
Okay, slow down, slow down.
Why, oh why, do we have a safety car out?
Safety car is in.
Oh, the late drama here at Sao Paulo. We're leading the way, but I'm backing the pack up now as the safety car's coming in. I don't want to give them a chance. I want to back them up as long as I can. But somehow that's triggered a red flag. I mean, all right. I was just backing them up, but somehow that's merited a red flag. Wow, this game is broken. We've now got even more dramatic circumstances here at Brazil, because we're lining up on the grid for a 3-lap sprint finish. What will we see unfold in the final 3 laps? We are underway for a final time. I've got an okay start. I'm trying to cover up Verstappen. And here comes Pierre Gasly. Round the outside. He's challenging Verstappen for the lead. Gasly not able to get it. Gasly comes across on us, but he gets nudged. We're now going back after Max Verstappen. And we're going to have a look down the inside here. Can we outbrake Verstappen? Oh, it's contact. We've gone into Max Verstappen. And Pierre Gasly takes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. We're fighting Verstappen tooth and nail here. Verstappen goes deep. We're now going to dive down the inside of the Red Bull driver, securing P2. But we've got damage where we whacked into him and understeered quite badly. And that has really affected our chances of going after Pierre Gasly. Gasly building up a lead because we have damage. Leclerc has got through. And I've no doubt that Verstappen, who's going around the outside of the Centre S, is going to get through. We're going to fight him around the outside. No, there's further contact and further damage done to our car on this final lap. And Yuki Tsunoda is now going to take 4 from us round the outside. He's going for it. Is he going to do it? We're trying to run him out a bit wide, but Tsunoda fighting harder than that. And he looks like he's going to get through. Tsunoda is not going to be frightened wide. We've gone deep ourselves. Through goes Russell, through goes Hulkenberg. And in the closing stages of this race, it has all gone horribly, horribly wrong for us. But it's gone brilliant for our championship rivals, Verstappen and now Lando Norris, as we get past Carlos Sainz, trying to fight him with such understeer because we got so much damage. And Magnussen dives down the inside for P9. But in the craziest end to the race, it's Pierre Gasly who crosses the line first and wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. Absolute scenes.
And here's our winner, Saint Magnifique. It's Pierre Gasly.
You always look back at a race like this and think, if I'd just made that mistake there or locked up here, there would have been contact. And every one of those overtakes is a moment where you have to absolutely nail it, perfect it, and that's exactly what they're able to do today. Great stuff indeed.
Here come today's winning drivers, and what a race this was. This is a team that knows success very well in F1, and they're just itching for even more. Congratulations to the Alpine team for their excellent win today.
I cannot believe that Pierre Gasly is the driver that's gone and won that. That last section was completely insane. So, off the restart, let me explain what happened. I got dropped by Gasly, who was going for Verstappen, but then he came across on me round 3 and I clipped him. And then I got a run on Verstappen, thought I could outbrake him down the inside, outbrake myself and whacked into him and took damage. Then took further damage on him in the Senna S, so I kind of ruined my race there. That's my bad entirely. But Gasly wins the Brazilian Grand Prix with Leclerc second, Verstappen third. Then it's Tsunoda, Russell, Hulkenberg, and many unlikely drivers completing the top 10. And as you can see in the Drivers' Championship, Verstappen has closed into 19 points. Norris is now closed into 34. And Russell 44, so it's very much game on heading into the final couple of races. Oh, I have many regrets there. I really wish with Verstappen on the last lap I hadn't gone for it quite so hard. In the Constructors' Championship, we still lead the way though by 69 points. Well, thank you for watching this instalment of Career Mode. Don't forget to leave a like and hit subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more content from me. I'm now going to eat my feelings, and until the next time, TTFN, tata for now, take care, and enjoy the rest of your day.